Nobody meant for this to happen. Everything was meant to get better, not worse. In January 2007, Steve Jobs, Apple's then chief executive, held aloft a little device in his hand. "This is a revolution of the first order, to really bring the real internet to your phone," he announced. Until then, the internet had largely been confined to PCs. Only a few million people had an internet-capable phone, and even they had limited capacity for viewing or interacting with online content. Social networks were in their infancy. Facebook had 12 million users, having just opened up to the world beyond US university students the previous summer, about the same time as it had patented the software for a news feed that would pick out the most interesting status updates from your friends. Twitter was less than a year old and had tens of thousands of users. YouTube had been bought 2 months earlier by Google for $1.65 billion, a price seen as astonishing, despite the site's estimated 70 million monthly users. Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, originally defined its purpose as to give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. He tweaked that slightly a few years later to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. The broad sweep was clear: to get people to communicate with each other more easily and directly. In just over a decade, the world has gone from a time when barely anyone owned a smartphone to one where more than 4 billion of the world's 7.6 billion do, and almost all of them connect to social networks. Walk today down a street past a construction site, past a coffee shop, past a parent pushing a pram, and you'll see the same thing. People gazing down at their smartphones, flicking through screenfuls of posts, photos, videos, and comments. Smartphones have replaced cigarettes as the perfect filler for those empty moments, waiting for trains, meals, or a friend. Pull it out of your pocket, watch it light up, suck it in, and relax. Just as smokers can measure their cigarette consumption in packs, we can measure our social media consumption in screens. In 2017, a Facebook executive said the average person scrolls through 300 feet of social media feeds per day on their phone. That's about 750 screens worth, consumed over an average of 2 hours per day. Social media as a crutch may be akin to smoking, something to do with our hands that also steadies our minds. But the cumulative effect is much more akin to global warming, pervasive, subtle, relentless, and, most of all, caused by our own actions and inclinations. That we use social media to fill our downtime is not a problem in itself. Few would be reading War and Peace instead. But this use is closely monitored, the experience is individually tailored, and herein lies the harm. Since social networks became widespread, Facebook has been implicated in a genocide. Twitter became the battleground for a misogynistic campaign leading to serious real-world threats and attacks, and YouTube has been accused of enabling the radicalization, first of Muslim jihadis and then of right-wing white men who would go on to kill. Women have received death and rape threats for campaigns about a banknote. Football stars have been targeted for anonymous racist abuse from 12-year-olds, and 2 men who were brought together by an algorithm that spotted they were interested in the same topic, started communicating in a Facebook group and decided to act. The topic was causing a civil war, and the action was to kill a police officer. These aren't aberrations. Social networks have these results when used as intended, as designed. After all, you're supposed to connect with like-minded people. The same pattern of events keeps happening when social networks are involved. Small differences are amplified into bigger disagreements, and the people on either side of those positions are drawn towards extremes of belief or action. These networks are optimized to consume our attention and powered by software that feeds on and exploits our inherent tendencies towards outrage and polarization. As long as social networks stick to their current design, events like these will keep happening and get worse as the number of people using those networks increases. And in the next 5 years, another billion people will be able to access a smartphone. We're living in an age of social warming, a side effect, an unintended consequence of technological advance making our lives more convenient.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.